Police Scotland are working with international partners to disable the criminal gang behind a cyber attack against Scotland's environmental watchdog. It's believed a group known as Conti was responsible for locking SEPA out of its own IT systems on Christmas Eve last year. Our Home Affairs correspondent David Cowan reports.
It was important to meet in person.
When President Biden met President Putin last week, the US leader told his Russian counterpart that critical infrastructure should be off limits to cyber attacks. They agreed to begin talks on the issue, but it's too late for SEPA, a critical part of Scotland's infrastructure, which was locked out of its IT systems 6 months ago. The criminals demanded a ransom. SEPA's bosses refused to stump up.
If we'd paid, then the criminal world in the cyber world would have said, well, Scottish Government agencies seem to pay, so we would have increased the risk to everyone else.
It could take the agency another 18 months to fully recover. This environmental campaigner was on SEPA's board for 8 years.
Whether it's some state-sponsored thing or it's 3 teenagers in a bedroom, we don't know, but it really is disgraceful that they're doing these kind of attacks, and all power to the authorities which are trying to track them down and stop them doing it.
Many SEPA services are back up and running, but there's lasting damage and no great expectation of anyone facing criminal charges. The prime suspects are a ransomware group called Conti. Most experts agree that most cyber attacks originate in Russia or its former Soviet neighbours.
That is definitely the suspicion. I don't know that anyone has a quote-unquote smoking gun. They stand out as one of the more greedy and aggressive groups. They are very, very aggressive in their targeting and their research of the victims beforehand. So if someone's like, oh, we can't pay, we'll just be like, yes, you can.
The police say action is being taken.
I think the nature of these crimes at the moment is the process of investigation isn't necessarily going to lead, most likely, to some sort of judicial outcome in Scotland. The way of targeting them is to prevent them from operating. You can disable the group by working with international partners, or you can ensure that your systems can't be penetrated in the country that you're in, and we're working on both.
Companies and organisations are being urged to have a healthy paranoia about cybersecurity.
The biggest lesson out there is that this can happen to any organisation. Attacks are not focused on large organisations or public sector organisations. Small businesses can get attacked, and not just by ransomware, but any kind of myriad of cyber attack.
Agreements between presidents won't stop cyber attacks. Criminals are making millions. All organisations like SEPA can do is protect themselves as best they can. David Cowan, reporting Scotland.